We got another future Young Avenger here. Now, does Marvel think Kamala Khan do it? We're going to talk about it. Here we are, another episode of Geek Variants and my stupid little intros. So just enjoy them. And if you really want to keep enjoying them, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure that you sign up for all the notifications so you can hear my stupid little jokes every time I make them. So we are here to talk about Miss Marvel, the new Disney Plus show that just launched and is another Young Avenger added to the fold. How they plan on doing this, we don't know exactly yet. We can have Young Avengers, we can have Champions. There's a lot of stuff going on. But I was excited to get another Marvel show so quickly after having Moon Knight and Doctor Strange literally appear out back to back. So we are in there. So Brent, you were the one who we had talked to, and you were skeptical about Miss Marvel coming out the gate. As far as the first episode of this 6-part series, what did you think so far?
So far, I am very curious into what we have going on overall. Because, the tomato meter is a 96% from the fans. From the critics, which is usually where I fall, 49. That's almost a 50% disparity. But I like what I saw so far out the gate. She's young, she's dorky, she's exactly as a teenage girl who's like fanboying or fangirling over any kind of stuff that they love. She's doing all of that stuff that like I did with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings growing up, you did with Marvel and DC growing up. Like this makes perfect sense to me. It's just a dorky kid slowly discovering that some family heirloom she puts on gives her some level of superpowers and abilities, or I don't know if she had it all along and this was just an heirloom that unlocks it. But like, there's a lot of questions as a person who's a fan of Marvel but not deep in the lore, like you are. One day I'll point the right direction, but like, I don't know a lot about this character. The most I was introduced to this character was through Marvel's Avengers, which was a terrible, terrible game, but this character was great. So I gotta say, I like what I see so far in the series. I didn't get a whole lot of questions to be asked from this episode. It was just kind of like this was as base of a backstory for a character as you can get. So before I end up rambling on and on with absolute nonsense, take it away to stuff that's actually Easter egg material that people would want to know.
Well, there's a lot of few things. Like I said, I love the animations. A lot of the animations and stuff were references and Easter eggs to different things that happen throughout the Marvel universe. Zombie Captain Marvel and a few other things. Like it's just they were talking about a lot of stuff. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back and rewatch and make sure I'm looking at a few more animations. I just wanted to watch the video, enjoy it, make sure we get this out to you guys. I think they did very well for setting up, like I said, the dorky teenager and kind of getting everything going for her to just be who she is. Now, if we take in reference again, because we talked about this with Obi-Wan about video game references, the whole con thing is what happened at the beginning of the Marvel's Avengers game. And that's where she was exploring and trying to find out what was going on before she got her abilities. And they kind of take the same thing and kind of roll into it. So it's great. Now, Miss Marvel is what was known as an Inhuman. Now, again, there's probably going to be a lot of retconning and stuff going on throughout the comics and stuff to changing up a few things for some people, and because they got to make it fit the MCU narrative. But exposed to the Terrigen Mist, being part of the Inhumans and stuff, like Black Bolt is definitely a different take on her powers and how they set up everything. But I think the flow went really well. Just kind of this is what she is. Like there's no sugarcoating it. She's just dorky who's obsessed with superheroes, and she's just kind of figuring stuff out as she goes along. And as soon as she gets into it, she's got to start, adjusting and reacting to what's going on with her and her new abilities. So let's talk about, they definitely put in the sidekick right there off the gate. Bruno is definitely the one who always helped her kind of get through and hide her superhero activities away from her parents. So he's there, he's front and center, and so if that he's going to be a big part of, her tech gadgetry and costumes and everything. So definitely we'll see upgraded costume stuff later on. She's probably going to continue using this one for the majority of the show until she gets her actual suit. Um, and I definitely expect some other character appearances later on. But again, Miss Marvel is pretty basic character in terms of her teenage design. Like she's literally just, hey, I'm a teenager and I'm just kind of doing this. Now, her powers and the way her powers have changed. This is one of the bigger things because a lot of people always are like, oh, well, she's just using Mr. Fantastic's powers and stuff. I'm like, not exactly and stuff. Like her powers were a bit different. Granted, they could do the same thing as far as the getting her stuff was embiggening initially, but she can change her mass and density, and she could grow. Really, she can go like that's one of the reasons why when they mentioned Ant-Man, she can grow like huge and stuff like that to be able to do that kind of stuff, and her strength is proportional to said thing. She also has a bit of a healing factor, so she's able to speed up her regeneration and stuff like that to get back into the fight. But now they got her with some kind of more or less cosmic bracelet that the nanny whatever she were, her like grandmother or something referred to, or whatever crazy stories are going on there. She's got some background with that bracelet, so she may have been doing some superhero stuff with that bracelet, and now it's going to be Kamala's, and she's probably going to have to go to her to get answers or get some stuff figured out as to how the bracelet works, what's going on, because it seems like it's some sort of crystallization power that she can solidify. So with that, so it's like she thinks about whatever it is, so with that, and it comes in and just materializes into a solid form that she can utilize, and then it goes away. But it looks like glass; it shatters like glass and stuff when it's abruptly, struck against the ground when she was saving the girl. So there's a lot going on with her powers that we got to figure out how they work. But overall, I think it was a solid intro for her, and the ending just really kind of set it off. It's like, the parents are just really on her and stuff. And with Pakistani parents, and granted, I'm not fully versed and stuff. I've had a few, friends and stuff like that who actually texted me and was like, yeah, they're pretty spot on in for the culture. So I was like, all right, cool, because I definitely wanted to include it in this. That they did a good job for portraying everything, and I know they've got some of they've got the background and stuff as part of it, but it works, and I really felt it, and I understood her blight as far as I just want to be me, and you're not letting me be me. And it came down to it. She's still like, I'm gonna be me. I want to be cosmic. I want to be whatever, and that's a straight reference to Captain Marvel and her cosmic ability. So yeah, it's fantastic. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see where it's gonna go.
I have a question for you, the comic Lord of Marvel, and it's a two-parter. And I don't know how to phrase this super educated wise. So for those of you at home, it's late. I apologize if I word this terribly. I'm apologizing immediately out the gate. To my knowledge of this character is portrayed as gay. Am I right?
Portrayed as gay, not necessarily. This is more when you think of these heroes so that America Chavez was the one who represented more of the LGBT community. I don't think Miss Marvel was ever really set into
Any type of sexuality of any kind.
just kind of doing her
Ambiguous.
thing. One of her best friends is Squirrel Girl. They have a really great relationship. But again, with it being a teenager and stuff like that, I tend to stray away from anything.
Trying to figure out what they're up to.
What's like, what. But we if it's made mention like it was in America Chavez, where she's wearing her pins and stuff like that, and it's a very well known fact, then I'll make slight mention of it so that. But Miss Marvel, she can go wherever she would like to go, and it's not going to detract from her character whatsoever.
Oh yeah, because I just thought it was interesting that Disney would drop this during Pride Month, which is a very historic thing, and I kind of figured they would drop America Chavez during this month with Multiverse of Madness, but that would have probably given away the character being there. However, am I the only one that's picking up on vibes that do her and Bruno become a thing. Like there was some very strong vibes through episode one. Where it was like, hey, there might be a ship here.
Now she cares a lot for Bruno, and she's definitely gonna do her best to take care of him. So there is a solid relationship there. As to what it evolves into, like I say again, I've read a lot of the beginning Miss Marvel comics, but going into the current ones now, I'm probably a couple issues behind of her latest series. So again, I got to see what's going on in there. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start forming, because she kind of has like a girl band type thing going with Squirrel Girl and America Chavez. So I wouldn't be surprised if with this being Pride Month, so if they decide to include her in there, because America Chavez is kind of on her own right now. She's kind of she's just kind of with her with Doctor Strange, but she's still a kid just kind of out there doing her thing. So you could essentially have these two meet up and become friends, because it's Jersey and New York is where Doctor Strange is. They're not too far away. Granted, she's in Comertage right now, but they could literally cross paths very easily and start kind of putting the makings of it together, because Miss Marvel is an integral part of the Young Avengers, because she's always wanted to be an Avenger, and everything just kind of goes along with it. So they could start putting this together, because it looks like we're going to get that kind of Young Avengers as well as maybe like a West Coast Avengers type thing going on. Like there's going to be, multiple teams, it looks like, going on. But again, we got to wait to see what Marvel has in store, because there could be cameos abound. Like she's supposed to be in the movie with what's it called? The Marvels. So with having possibly Spectrum, depends on what name she's gonna go by. So that Captain Marvel, the name Binary has been one of Captain Marvel's names at some point. Rambeau can go by any of these names that she chooses. Photon. So I would expect probably a cameo. Like she gets to meet her hero at the end, and that solidifies her choice for, yes, I'm going to be a superhero. And hey, Mom, I've got the backing of Captain Marvel herself. Let me be great. And we see how it goes.
I only had the question because I was curious what Disney was doing with the timing of it all. I know they had to fit it in between Thor, Love and Thunder, and between Multiverse of Madness. Didn't know a lot about this character, so it won't be an addition or a subtraction. Just kind of curious on that vibe. I was picking up. I thought I heard a rumor somewhere about that, but it won't play any huge part in how I feel about the series as a whole. Overall, I really did like the episode one out the gate. I feel like they did a much better job than they did with Moon Knight's. Moon Knight was kind of a slow start, and then there were a couple other series where I was like, I needed more. It's Marvel. You have a reputation to uphold of being the premier comic company as far as on screen. So we hold you to a higher bar than we would another company. Not going to name drop, it's a bash. I'm just saying, you have a standard. I expect certain things, and so far, I'm happy.
No, it makes perfect sense, because you got to think about Miss Marvel. She's a teenager, so teenagers are thinking fast paced and living in the moment or whatever. So I expect it to move fast and kind of get going. So I'm really going to be interested to get my son's take on this. I have 16-year-old son, so definitely get him to watch this. And my daughter, she loves the Young Avengers, so she's 8 now, and she's really going to get into the show, I'm sure. So, and Captain Marvel is her favorite superhero, as you can see by I have one of her posters on the wall that she decorated with. So it's definitely going to be something to watch and kind of get through and see where they set up for, because after this, I believe we have She-Hulk coming around August, Thor Love and Thunder is in July, and Wakanda in November. Like, so some of these things are really hard, because it's rumored that Ironheart is going to make her appearance in Wakanda. So that should be the second Black Panther movie. Ironheart makes her debut. Like now we're really getting it. So whether we got the kind of the shades of A-Force in Avengers Endgame, it's like we could get the Young Avengers starting with the all-female crew coming in first before they add some of the other guys in at some point. Either way, it's going to be a great setup, and this leaves the door wide open for other characters that have been mentioned, Miles Morales and stuff, to come forward to the group. So
great stuff. Be sure to check out all the amazing content we have on our page. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that. ring that little notification bell so you can be notified anytime we drop anything, because we have a lot of great content on the way for you guys, including Obi-Wan predictions for the final 2 episodes. We already got our review up for that because we are fast on the draw. And this has been our Miss Marvel take. I'm the casual fan. This is the diehard fan. So if you really want to get some stuff, check out his prediction videos and a lot of the stuff he did talking about the multiverse of madness.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna head out of this one. I'm definitely gonna put something up for Young Avengers and what we can possibly go from here. So y'all be sure to check that one out, and I'll try to link it as soon as I get it posted. Until then, we'll catch y'all in the next one. Tony sucks.